YouTube and not LinkedIn, so I'm looking to the side just to be sure I'm seeing it that it's live.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we are. We are live.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to Techies 15 Live by Immigrant Techies Network. It's our weekly um, live session, a way of staying in touch with the community, with the ecosystem. We like to invite people that are doing great work in the community or that are building solutions and products and services just to keep in touch and see what people are doing and help people find the kind of support they may need. And we always invite cool people to join us every Tuesday. And today our cool person is Temi Akinroye. Welcome, Temi.
Thank you so much, Wunmi, for having me. It's really
Yeah.
fun to be here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
And so Temi is based in Edmonton, and she has actually been a support for Immigrant Techies Network. She's come down to Calgary to help plan an event, an in-person event one time before. So, yeah, thanks for all your support and all that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Thank you so much.
can you introduce yourself? Let's learn a little bit about you, and then
Yeah,
we'll.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. And before I introduce myself, I have to give, Miss Wumi a little bit of, no, not a little bit, a lot of credit here because, there are people in your life that I'm 3 years, outside of uni, and there's certain points in my life where I had an opportunity to meet with her. And a lot of the work that I do currently and the passion I have for international students and in the immigrant space has also come as a result of her. Many of the ideas, which one we'll go into later, is actually birthed from some of the conversations that we had early on when I was done with school. So I have to give her flowers. I would say that she's one of the people
Oh.
that have a pen in my story. So, so have a little pen. I have a pen in my story. So I have to give you your credit, Ma. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate the time and space to be able to speak to the audience and to community as well. Um, Absolutely. A little bit about myself. I'm a young girl. I'm not. I'm a young girl. I'm still growing in my career as a professional. I'm a
I'm
PMP
a
prof.
young girl too, so.
Um, well, we're all youngies here, but I'm still growing my profession as a PMP operation specialist. I'm very, very passionate about the immigration space and specifically about international students. Over time, people like Wumi, they've inspired me to be able to do things and come up with solutions that, are able to help newcomers and specifically international students, because that's most of the people that are around the sphere to which I'm in. And as a result of that, I've authored a book recently called A Word for an International Student. And yeah, I'll say that's a little bit about myself.
Uh-huh.
And yeah.
So when did you come in as an international student?
I came in 2018. 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Temi here is an author. She wrote a book called A Word for an international student, correct?
Yes, yes.
So can you share with us what brought about the book?
Yeah,
What did you see
absolutely.
and what was the prompt? Why did you write a book?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the major things after I was done with university, I finished university at 2022 summer. And there's a lot of amongst all my friends, there's a lot of things that, we realized that we're running to network, we couldn't find jobs. There's a lot of things that we're going through that I
Mm,
wish that we're proactive enough to do during school, right?
mm,
To actually go out there and take practice and be intentional about our journey as an international student and actually be adaptable to this not necessarily Canadian society, but even the Western world and how they do things, right? And I realized I had to do a brunt of the work after I was done with school, right? I had to, go out of my comfort zone, learn the soft skills, the importance of skills. A lot of the work, most of my concentration when I was in school as an international student, I mean, I'm a Nigerian, was, get your A's, get your
It's about the
grades,
grades. Yeah.
but I realized that, like, there's much more that needs to be done. There's a lot of psychological and physiological nuances that comes as an international student, and for you to be able to not just survive but thrive as an international student, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more than just, I always say in my book, I said it, that it's being a student of life. You're not just you're just not a student, right? You have the 4 years or 2 years or how many years that you have to make mistakes and be proactive, right? In meeting
Mm-hmm.
people, in learning about the financial system, in learning that, okay, how do people, work in Canada? Like, I wish I took part in all these things like case studies, and not just because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be out there, but because I wanted to meet people. I wanted to build a relationship. I wanted to be established in the
Right.
society, right? And there are many people that we've met, we've met Arian, who has been a major person who has established himself within how many years in school. And that's
Arian
that's
Conchaldis, shout out to you
yeah.
here.
That's someone that I know for sure that, has established themselves. And the book essentially, so for me, it was after I was done with uni that I was like, oh my goodness, there were so many things that I wish I learned and I wish I, was proactive to do. And another thing is also, like, I have two siblings. At the time, my younger brother, who is now graduating from school next year, was coming to school. So I noticed that I kept telling him, hey, like, don't wait until your second
Mm,
year to build a resume, get yourself out on LinkedIn, talk about your journey as an international student, talk about the things you don't know and the things you want to know. Like,
right.
just be out there, make yourself visible. And I realized, oh, like, if I'm telling my brother about these things, I might as well just put something
Tell
together,
other
tell
people.
other
Yeah.
people, right? So, and that's pretty much what birthed the book. And also working with you, Wunmi, as well. Like, I think that was around the time when we did International Student Connect that I started to chat with you about, my passion for this and the possibility of doing something. And you gave me other ideas, which we'll execute soon. But that was what really propelled. So I would say it was multiple things, layer upon layer upon layer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, unfortunately, after I got a position after uni and I got let go from that position, and I realized there were some certain things that I wished I knew when I was an international student, when I still had that 4 years to play around, to build my skills, both technical and soft skills, right?
Mm.
So those are things that it was just a little bit of just mistakes here and there that I realized that, oh my goodness, I could have done this. I could have been proactive. So yeah, I'll say that's
So
why.
the book is like a book of what I wish I knew, right? So you wrote it
Essentially.
after, like, when you were no longer a student,
Yeah,
more
yeah,
like what you wish you knew when you were an international student.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so what's if you can, I know 15 minutes it goes by really fast. So, but if you can say the highlights, what would you say is the highlight of the book?
Yeah, absolutely. So the book, I consider the book more like a wisdom guide or some form of manual or mindset manual. In the
Did
book,
you
there's
get input from other international students, or is it
yes,
multiple
yes,
perspectives, not just
yes,
yours, right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I interviewed about
Mm,
20 international students, both people that are current
nice.
international students, previous international students, just seeing whether maybe they understood the same situation I was in, and if we share, and many of them it was resonating with each and every one of them, and we all came together and said, okay, hey, there are these few things that maybe as an incoming international student, so people that are current international students, you need to understand, right? And I went into the book actually contains like 6 different international student stories on different situations that come about as an international student. For
Mm,
example, like networking, right? One of the people's stories was their journey and, as an international student and how they sort of learned to network early on, right? As an international student, how that's impacting their lives today. So there's also some talks about like, culture shock or confidence building as an international student, right? So those are the few highlights. And one major thing I say, and I kind of reiterate, I when people read the book, they're like, oh my God, Temi, you're saying this too much, is the power of intentionality, Yes, as
Mm.
an international student, right? Being intentional about your journey, right? Not just coming to school and getting A's and say, okay, yes, your A's will, we're happy for the A's, but being
They're
intentional
just
that
not
this journey
enough.
it's just not enough, especially in the world that we're going into and the world of AI. It's not enough. Like so being that interpersonal side of things as well, and just walking through the challenges that come with international students. So I talk about being a student of life, right? Learning about the your ability to adapt, right? Very quickly, and not just concentrating on, your transition and, oh my God, I need to do this, my A's, my this. No, but it's much more than that. So I would say, like, those are a few things I talk about in the book. Your confidence as an international student, you're learning about finances as a newcomer,
Mm-hmm.
how to handle language barriers as an international student, confidence building as an international student. So those are the few things I speak about, and there are stories that highlight that as
Mm-hmm.
well. And these are stories from multiple different international students across the world, essentially. And
Oh, okay, not just
yes,
to Canada.
no,
Oh.
yeah. So, most of them, all of them are
Like, okay, you
Canadian,
mean the students are from across the
across
world?
the
Okay,
world.
okay,
Yes,
got
yes. So
it, got
students
it.
are from across the world. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, this book can be used for anyone that is, transitioning to the US, to the UK, or anywhere else. But obviously, it's mostly based on people that
Yeah,
are here
yeah,
in
yeah.
Canada. But you can take the wisdom in it, right, and use it everywhere you go. It's for
Mm-hmm.
anyone that is transitioning.
So what would you say is the added layer of challenge that
Mhm.
international students get on top of being immigrants? So if you're
Ooh.
an immigrant, a newcomer, there's already a defined set of challenges. But being an international student, what would you say are the added layer of challenges?
I agree. I think one is the pressure and the ignorance. Being so young, there's a sense of a lot of when I was talking to a lot of the people that I spoke to, a lot of them spoke about the identity shift. A lot of them, as an international students, you're coming at a very young age. You're 18, 19,
Typically, yeah.
17, typically
Mm-hmm.
most people, the brunt of people that come. And with maybe a more grown immigrant, maybe you have an identity of who you are, a sense of who you are. Yes, you'll be shaking a little bit, but this is a teenager we're talking about. These are these are people that don't have an idea of who they are. So they're not just coming to a new country, they're also trying to figure out, how do I fit here? I don't even know how I was when I don't even know who
Yeah,
I was in my
yeah.
previous
I
country,
can.
and then you're telling me to
Mhm.
come here. Like, that's already like a psychological, and as I say, it's more than just your age. That's already psychology. A lot of them can, you know go into depression because of that, right? And
Mhm.
I was someone that I also went through that. I came at 16, so I could imagine, like, I was like, okay, I don't have friends here, what do I do? And at that
Mhm.
time, those kind of things are important to you as a teenager at the time, right? It gives you a sense of self, right? So there's
Yeah,
a lot of you.
absolutely. I always say that if you hire someone that came in as an international student, you're getting a lot in one package. Because this is someone that has learned to survive the toughest of situations, figure out who they are, figure out what the new environment is as they manage the range of emotions going on in their own bodies. They still manage the external world. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, coming into a new country at such a young age without a family,
Mhm.
most times there's no family or established support system, and learning how to find your way there. Yeah, those are the skills. Those are the skills that I'm sure people want in their organizations. You want people to solve problems. Those are the kind of
Yes.
mindset you want. So
Yes, yes, yes,
yeah, I
absolutely.
actually applaud the courage of international students that leave their homes and go to new countries at a young age. I have a 16-year-old and I'm like, okay. Yeah. When you say you were 16 when you
Mm,
moved, I was thinking about what that might look like if my 16-year-old were to move to a new country with no support system on the ground. That would be something.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like just to, this book is pretty much a support system for, I have a younger sister, the last of our household. She's 17, 16, and she's going to school like this fall. And,
She
this
has
book,
you. Good for her.
yeah, I'm happy. But, I tell her
Yeah.
that, read this book as a kind of a guide for you to be able to concentrate your efforts on the right things, right? It's almost like a mindset shift, right? That's your, so
Mhm.
that there's nothing you can do about, you're going to be a bit shaken when you first arrive, and that's normal. But this book would help you stabilize yourself very quickly. You know what needs to be done. Okay, yes, I went through culture shock, and I talk about the different stages of culture shock. I talk about like, so you know how to get on your feet quickly. You know the importance of
Mhm.
building relationships, not just to get a job, but to build relationships. You know that, you don't always have to just get your A's, but you can build a business while you're still in
Yeah.
school.
Oh, yeah,
Right? Yeah.
absolutely.
There are many opportunities, just pretty much push international students to take risks, to take opportunities and learn about their environment as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So that,
So where can people
yeah,
find the book?
for sure. It's on Amazon, so it's a
And
word
you have a
finds.
copy there if you can show
Yeah,
us.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's a very short read, about 100 pages. I tried my best not to make it too much because I mean, as a student, you're not trying to sit down and be reading things.
Mhm.
But it's a word for international student. You can find it on Amazon. And you can also go to my page on LinkedIn. It's there as well. You can click it, and also you can DM me as well if you have any questions. I'm available to help as much as I can.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Temi. Thanks for
Yeah,
being here.
thank
Thanks to
you.
everyone that's watching. I suppose you already mentioned people can DM you if they have questions or about the book or otherwise. So yeah,
Absolutely.
and the chat on this. So there's a LinkedIn event attached to this. So the chat on it, people feel free to ask your questions there even after this live session. Temi can always answer those questions later.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Temi,
Thank
for being
you.
here.
Thank
Bye
you.
everyone. Have a great week.
Bye.